Eastern and Southern Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News First at 4.
Good afternoon, I'm Steve Hensley. First at 4, a special election is underway this afternoon for the 89th House District after former Kentucky State Representative Robert Goforth resigned earlier this year. With the polls set to close now in less than 2 hours, WYMT's Dakota Makris is in Jackson County to check in on how voting is going so far.
The 89th House District covers all of Jackson County, the northern parts of Laurel, and the southern parts of Madison counties. I spoke with Jackson County Clerk Donald Duck Moore, who says he is seeing a steady stream of voters in the county's 3 voting locations. He adds with early and absentee voting, they already had nearly 800 votes when the polls opened, but he expects around 1,500 votes in total and encourages people to come out to cast their ballots.
I guess we did pretty good consider everything, and the early voting was good, but from 8 to 4, most people work from 8 to 4. So we had a good turnout Saturday, and then of course today we got a good turnout.
The freedom to vote. It is one thing I do love to do, is come out and vote for the person that I feel right for the job.
I am told masks are not required when you come to vote, but you can wear one if you would like. Polls close at 6 o'clock tonight. In Jackson County, Dakota Makris, WYMT Mountain News.
Now we will continue our election coverage later this evening with interviews from the candidates running for the 89th House District, Republican Timmy Truitt and Democrat May Suramick. Well, voters are also heading to the polls in Virginia to pick their next governor. The tight race is viewed as a possible preview ahead of next year's midterm elections as Democrat Terry McAuliffe tries to tie Republican businessman Glenn Youngkin to former President Donald Trump, who lost Virginia in 2020 by 10 points.
Glenn Youngkin has been endorsed by Donald Trump 10 times.
I've just felt this great surge of momentum for the last 6 to 8 weeks.
Now, Youngkin has tried to distance himself from the former president, who has stepped into the race anyway to support him. Despite the national attention, some predict the results could come down to local issues.
A chilly afternoon continues in the mountains today, thanks to the cloud cover that has lingered well into this afternoon. Time-lapse camera from the University of Virginia at Wise showing us that dark overcast continues to work through the area this afternoon. We're starting to see some signs of progress as we head out toward I-75 at Mount Vernon. A little bit of sunshine trying to work back in as some of those clouds begin to thin out. And depending on how fast they do, that's when we're talking frost and freeze territory for tonight. Most of us in that freeze warning as we head into the overnight. If you're not, you're either under the frost advisory, or if you're in Dickinson and Buchanan counties in Virginia, nothing. But still, keep an eye out on those sensitive plants as we head into tonight. Temperatures, well, they were there, but most of us there in those upper 40s to low 50s this afternoon. Pinpoint Doppler, maybe a couple of showers, sprinkles really into the eastern parts of Knott County, southern parts of Floyd County. We should be in good shape heading into tonight. We'll eventually start to clear out, drop down into those low 30s for overnight lows tonight. I think many of us, though, could get into the upper 20s. I'll have the latest on how long the cold looks to stick around and when we could see a bit of a warm-up in the forecast coming up in just a bit. Steve?
All right, Evan, thank you. Hazard Community and Technical College is partnering with a local health clinic to make vaccinations easier to get. Along with the Little Flower Clinic, the college will be hosting a Vax and Go event throughout the week, offering both COVID-19 and flu shots, as well as other on-site medical services the clinic typically offers. Dr. Jennifer Linden says she expects a larger part of the campus community will be vaccinated because of these efforts.
The student can just come by once they're finished with their classes for the day, get the vaccine, and then head on home. A student might also come and get their vaccine in between classes, so it's just so easy for our students, our faculty, and staff now to be able to get their COVID vaccine.
Dr. Linden also says students fully vaccinated by December 1st will be entered into a drawing to win a $50 gas card. A CDC advisory committee is weighing whether to greenlight Pfizer's pediatric COVID-19 vaccine for children ages 5 to 11. If approved, the shot could become available to some 28 million American children starting as early as tomorrow. Doctors and advocates say the shots could help lessen the burden of the virus on kids, even beyond preventing severe illness and death. CBS's Michael George reports from New York.
A CDC advisory committee is meeting to consider Pfizer's low-dose COVID-19 vaccine for children ages 5 to 11. If the CDC recommends use for this age group, it would be the first COVID vaccine available for patients so young.
The vaccine met all safety data expectations as well as immunobridging criteria. 90.7 efficacy was observed.
More than 67,000 American children under age 17 have been hospitalized for COVID infections since August of 2020. While the CDC says the most severe COVID outcomes are rare, there have been 94 deaths in kids 5 to 11.
The risk is too high and too devastating to our children, and far higher than for many other diseases for which we vaccinate children.
Some parents say access to a pediatric vaccine will lift a heavy burden.
It'll make life that much easier to be able to take the kids places, to not feel so worried about, do we have a mask, do we not have a mask, can we be around these friends and their kids.
A recent survey shows only 27% of parents say they'll vaccinate their kids right away. A third say they'll wait and see how it goes.
I recognize that parents are nervous. This is not the time to be complacent.
Some parents are concerned about the rare risk for myocarditis or heart inflammation.
It's a very important thing to recognize that the very low risk of myocarditis with vaccination pales in comparison to the very high risk for severe heart disease related to COVID and MIS-C.
Pfizer already began shipping millions of doses to help pediatricians and health professionals prepare to get shots in arms. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
Tuesday's meeting was the last opportunity to limit vaccine access to high-risk children only, as some on last week's FDA panel preferred. With the approval of a vaccine for kids ages 5 to 11 closer than ever, many kids now face another challenge: overcoming their fear of needles. An estimated 63% of children are afraid of needles, and so are many of their parents. This is not a new problem, though, and people are already using technology to help children, like 9-year-old Azariah Bannister, who is already anxious about a flu shot and now has to worry about even more needles. That is where SuperMeg, a chatbot that helps kids overcome their fears of needles, steps in.
Kids often feel like they don't have a choice to get that poke, so as much choice as we can give them. Which arm do we want that poke in? Which toy do you want to bring? Do you want to sit on my lap?
That was Jody Thomas with the Meg Foundation, the nonprofit that created the bot. She says it helps guide children through the vaccine process, teaching breathing and distraction techniques to hopefully reduce anxiety and pain. A new film made in the region is making its debut in the city it was created in. Corbin native Matthew Smitley produced the film called The Arbors this September, using locals from the area as actors and crew. The finished product will be shown this Thursday at the Tri-County Cineplex in Corbin. Corbin Tourism Executive Director Maggie Monholland says this could lead to more opportunities for aspiring filmmakers in the region.
I feel like perhaps this film could definitely create a domino effect of additional films being shot here in southern Kentucky. You know, the beauty we have is unparalleled. We have so many different sites and hidden jewels.
Tickets for the premiere can be purchased on the movie theater's website. Quentin Tarantino is giving fans of Pulp Fiction the chance to own never-before-seen clips of the 1994 movie. The two-time Academy Award-winning director and screenwriter is selling NFTs of 7 original scenes. An NFT, or non-fungible token, is a unique piece of virtual art that cannot be duplicated. Tarantino's NFTs also include excerpts from the original handwritten script and exclusive commentary from him. The auction is set to take place on the marketplace platform OpenSea. Last year, fast food chain White Castle replaced humans with a robot to cook French fries in one of its kitchens in a Chicago area restaurant. The machine is named Flippy, and recently the burger chain gave the robot an upgrade. Flippy 2 is a smaller version that takes over even more human functions. The first version had to have humans fill and empty the fry basket, but Flippy 2 can do that on its own. The company plans to put a Flippy in up to 10 of its 360 total restaurants. That's Head over to Wall Street now on this Tuesday. The Dow closes up today more than 138 points. We'll have more financial news in our next half hour. But straight ahead here on First at 4, check out how researchers are working to make sure America's giant sequoia trees, the largest on the planet, will be around for future generations.
And freezing temperatures are on the way. I'll have the very latest on how long the November chill looks to last.